What's good, cyberspace? It's your boy Reclaim Your Throne coming at you with another crazy video. But first, my goal is to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. And you already know, Reclaim Your Throne.
If she don't fuck, then she not for me. Shit. If she don't suck, then she not for me. Shit. Scratching bitches off just like the lottery. She made a mistake, grammatical apostrophe. Yeah. If she don't fuck, then she not for me. Shit. If she don't suck, then she not for me. Baby, come fuck with a monopoly. He seek the hoe, ain't nobody hot as me. If she don't fuck, then she not for me. Shit. If she don't suck, then she not for me. Shit. Scratching bitches off just like the lottery.
Let's keep breaking this shit down. We haven't even gotten to Myron shit yet.
Hey, Uncle Adam.
Anyway, okay, so what were you like in high school and whatnot?
So in high school, I was a virgin. I didn't lose my virginity till like second year of university.
Really?
Yeah, but I had a lot of like rumors about me because I was still like exploring. You know, I was like making out with the hockey guys because that's all there was.
Josh loves the sound of that. He's a hockey
He's
guy,
a hockey guy,
and I don't think he's used to girls being attracted to the hockey guy.
I mean, I love that, but that was like I'm not attracted to them anymore. I'm more of like rapper, basketball.
You like
player.
niggas, huh?
Yeah.
Just say it. Go ahead. It's all right.
They got a couple black guys in the NHL these days, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's like one guy.
The Trashers, they got a couple, right?
There's one guy.
The Trashers.
There's one guy in New York, I think, or New Jersey or something.
Really?
Yeah.
We should go find him for you.
No, he already found me.
Wow.
He reached out to you?
Yeah, he slid in the DMs, but I just suck at replying. So
Wow, what a legend.
Heard you like hockey players.
I'm like,
Black ones. That's amazing. Okay, so, but were your parents still...
All right, so I got to go back. I got to go back on that because she said that's all there was. Let's run it back.
hockey guy.
I mean, I love that, but that was like I'm not attracted to them anymore. I'm
Okay, run it back.
the hockey guys. I was a virgin. I didn't lose my virginity
So she lost her virginity allegedly in her second year at university.
till like second year of university.
Really?
Yeah, but I had a lot of like rumors about me because I was still like exploring. You know, I was like,
Hold on, Lick a Pickle says, as far as sources, he probably won. How? He didn't provide any sources. He didn't provide it. He provided an article from the AP that was not written by a doctor. So by his criteria, he didn't even have a source. I literally showed a source from the doctor coming out of the horse's mouth saying that he didn't take the fucking vaccine. And then he says, as far as sources, he probably won because they all side with the leftists. Even with the leftist sources, they don't meet his criteria as a source. Okay. But you won because we all know what goes down. I won on both sides because I actually presented sources that were peer reviewed and he did not. I presented a source. Presented a source from David Jernigan, who had a university study, which he said is all you need to prove a fact. It has to be peer reviewed by people on the university. And then he puts in the back chat, hey, come to my TikTok and let's debate. It's absolutely hilarious, guys. I mean, these dudes, they're full of shit.
making out with the hockey guys because that's all there was.
Josh loves the sound of that. He's a hockey
He's
guy,
a hockey guy,
and I don't think he's used to girls being attracted to the hockey guy.
I mean, I love that, but that was like I'm not attracted to them anymore. I'm more of like rapper, basketball.
You like
player.
niggas, huh?
Yeah.
Just say it. Go ahead. It's all right.
They got a couple black guys in the NHL these days, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's like one guy.
The Trashers, they got a couple, right?
There's one guy.
Trashers.
So she's saying that's all there was. Guys, that's not all there was at her university. Run it back.
Them anymore. I'm more of like rapper, basketball.
You like
player.
niggas, huh?
Yeah.
Just say it. Go ahead. It's all right.
They got a couple black guys in the NHL these days, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's like one guy.
The Trashers, they got a couple, right?
There's one guy.
Trashers.
The Trashers.
There's one guy in New York, I think, or New Jersey or something.
Really?
Yeah.
We should go find him for you.
No, he already found me.
Wow.
He reached out to you?
Yeah, he slid in the DMs, but I just suck at replying. So
Wow, what a legend.
Heard you like
She sucks at replying. That's bullshit. That's the excuse women make when they're not interested in you. Because I guarantee if she want the dick, she definitely gonna reply.
hockey players.
I'm like,
Black ones. That's amazing. Okay, so But were your parents still instilling these religious teachings to you pretty hardcore, that you couldn't lose your virginity before you were married or anything?
Yeah, I think it's not really more, it's religion, but it's also culture. So like they're very like, in my country, they're like arranged marriage. So like, oh, my daughter's trying to get married. Oh, I have a guy for her. Like, let's do like a whole thing. And you come to the girl's house and the girl brings everybody tea, like one by one. Like it's a traditional thing. You're supposed to be like a virgin and not touched until your wedding night.
Right.
So that's kind of like the culture. And like, that was the culture I had until like.
Cap. Most of these, she's like, oh, that's what I was. That was the culture I had until, bruh, you never believed in Islam. You never submitted to Allah. Stop it. She's full of shit. She never submitted to Allah. She was waiting until she left her parents' household to do what she really wanted to do, and that's fuck around. So let's not do this, play this game.
I was in university. I was like, Dad, what if I like marry someone and they suck in bed?
So you were thinking that you were going to actually go through with the arranged marriage?
No, I wasn't.
But your parents were pushing it, like they would mention it and stuff.
They were like just someone that we like, not very like arranged, but someone that like meets the criterias.
And Muslims probably going to be high up on that list.
So her dad was trying to get her married, and now because of her OnlyFans, she will never get married.
No, they're pretty open.
Really?
Yeah, my parents are very like open-minded, but still in the sense of the culture.
That's probably why they wanted to get the hell out of there, huh?
Yeah.
They were a little too open-minded.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people in Iran are very open-minded. It's just the government.
Gotcha.
The Islamic Republic of Iran, it's like the country's rules are the religion. So even if you're a Christian, you're like, why do I have to cover my hair? Well, bitch, it's our country. Like,
well, in Christianity, it also tells you to cover your hair as well. So this is what people don't understand about the Abrahamic religions in general. They're pretty much all very similar, if not the same. There are differentiations for sure, but pretty much they're all the same. The basic tenets are the same. Yes, the Bible says that women should cover up. So she's wrong on that as well.
You have to, or we'll arrest you.
We might be jumping ahead a little bit in the conversation here, but have you had any sort of like Mia Khalifa style like threats upon your life and stuff?
I've had a lot of people like DMing me like, oh my God, what are you doing? What's your religion? Like, what you're doing is wrong. But then I also have people like, come visit Iran. We love you. I'm like, wait, hold on. Is this a setup?
It's
like,
bait. It's
like,
an ISIS guy.
Like, do something like.
Wow.
They're going to slide on you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're actual fans or if they're like, fuck you.
Right. Because that probably was like the most genius and also worst idea that she ever had, was doing adult content with a fucking veil on, because it made her a huge target. And I think ISIS put a statement out about her. Hey,
man, they wasn't finna do shit to no damn Mia Khalifa. They was just trying to scare that bitch. They wasn't gonna put hands on her.
Damn, really?
I think so, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Or at least they like, I don't know, some ISIS member. Who knows where it's coming from the top? But
I mean, but they also watch porn, so it's like, why are you guys?
That is true. That is true. A lot of those Muslims, the Arabs, even the Catholics, I mean, any religion that kind of preaches that sexual repression, as they would call it, those motherfuckers be the main consumers of pornographic content.
Well, I assume that everybody talking shit about OnlyFans girls in the comments also watches porn. They're just a little annoyed.
They're just trying to find the leaked ones and not paying for it.
Yeah, or they're paying for it and they're pissed off that they just realized that they're.
Well, I okay, so Cooley has some disagreements. He says, I disagree. You don't think that she was with it until she moved to socialist Canada and all the liberal woke bullshit poisoned her head? No, I do think that was a factor, but she said she moved to Canada when she was 10. So, yeah, I think she was with it once she touched Western soil. Lick a Pickle says, well, Christianity also tells men not to look at a woman who they aren't married to with lust. No, as a matter of fact, I think it's you're not supposed to look at another man's wife with lust, not necessarily a woman that you're not married to, but I would have to get some clarification on that. Cooley also says, Cap, them Arab niggas don't fuck around. Yeah, but they do be watching porn. Osama bin Laden, when he got deleted by SEAL Team 6, he had hella porn. So and even I've seen, like, you know, quote unquote devout Muslims, like they definitely have a you know, they've a lot of them do have porn addictions for sure. especially if they're actually practicing.
I don't know that they're never gonna fuck this girl that they've been paying for the OnlyFans for the past couple
You
years.
might though. Subscribe.
Lick a Pickle says, no, it's any woman you aren't married to. Okay, drop the verse, bro.
There you go. Hey, AD might be in there. It could be you as well. Who knows?
He's a fan, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I believe so.
Absolutely not. I'm a fan of no one. That's what he should have said.
And then like you might have your own OnlyFans.
In theory, build up that platform. Anyway, so you then, how did you start to like? You realized you didn't want to do the arranged marriage, but then did you start to experiment a little bit more?
Yeah. So
He said as well as anti-race mixing, but I can then show you verses where God is telling the people to breed outside of their race for sure, or outside of their tribe rather. So, I'm not the person who's just gonna sit here and say, oh well, this is how you're supposed to live, and that. The Bible has many contradictions. As a matter of fact, I actually pointed out multiple contradictions in my studies this morning, which we can break down right now. There are certain contradictions with not only creation but with genealogy in general, which I broke down earlier this morning in my studies. Let me see. Okay, so there are contradictions with creation. Okay, so he's pulling up Matthew 5:28, and this is what I also want to say, guys. And I know this might be controversial, but the New Testament, you definitely have to take it with a grain of salt. And I know everybody's gonna get pissed off at me for saying that, but that's just the reality of the situation when you're breaking down the origins, not only the authors, and this is where we get back to sources and in the original transcripts. It's not in the Hebrew language or Aramaic. So by that in and of itself, that's an issue. That's an issue. Okay, so let's read. Let's read. Matthew 5:28 says, and they're speaking about adultery. Okay, so let's read 27 for context. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. So this is specifically talking about adultery, which is cheating on your woman. This is not pertaining to an individual who is quote unquote single, whatnot. If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. Obviously, that's not a literal interpretation, but most people take certain verses literal, and then other verses they don't take literal. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to go into hell. So in these verses, they're specifically talking about adultery. Okay, like I said, we'll read 27 and 28 again. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery, but I tell you, anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. So obviously this is pertaining to men who are already engaged in a marriage. And also, I mean, if you even go back to the original language in Hebrew, the meaning of adultery is a lot different than the English translation. So, but I'm not going to necessarily get into that. But yeah, like I said, there are definitely some contradictions, interpretations in the Bible that can be debated at the least. So let's keep going.
So like I was always like curious and I liked guys, so I'd be like making out or like doing like light, you know, not like full on sex stuff.
Right.
I was like keeping that until like the wedding or like whatever. Like I had this like fairy life in my head, and then when I got to university, I was like, man, I'm really like missing out on like a part of my life where like I'm never gonna get back.
Because you're seeing everybody.
Woo! So you heard what she said. She said once she got to university, she felt like she was missing out. This is the FOMO. This is the fear of missing out that a lot of women say that men have, but in reality, that's women, because women are the ones who are peer pressured into getting into these activities that make them feel like they miss out if they didn't, like hot girl summer. Women have a FOMO of missing hot girl summer because of all the potential dick that they could have gotten and the validation. Cooley 410 says that's why passport bros say if you got a girl, don't take her to America, because they know once she gets Americanized and all that woke feminist BS seep into her ear, it's a wrap. Lick a Pickle says, bro, respectfully, we don't live by the Old Testament. It's not meant for us living today. Okay, well, and see, that's where I disagree, because people just like to say, oh, we don't live by the Old Testament, but the Old Testament gives us prophecy about the second coming. The Old Testament actually gives us the law that we should live by. The Old Testament actually gives us the genealogy of the line of Judah so that we can actually determine who are the quote unquote real Israelites and whatnot. So like, you can't just say, oh, well, we don't live by the Old Testament anymore. And that's an issue. And then also, like I said, when it comes to the New Testament, the earliest translations are not in Hebrew or Aramaic, which is a huge issue. I mean, people don't understand how big of an issue that is, but it is a big issue. Cooley 410 says Christianity over Satanism or nihilism. I agree. Look at Pickle says, bro, you shifting the gears. How am I shifting the gears? He even says, even then, all of that high value men explore their options stuff is BS. They have women. Okay, so like I said, let's go to the Bible. The first instance of a man taking two wives. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. All right. Let me break it down for you guys real quick. I got it in my notes. Just got to find it. Okay. So the first instance of a man taking two wives comes from the line of Cain. Okay. So Cain begot Enoch. Enoch begot Arad. Arad begot Menuhael. Menuhael begot Methushael, and Methushael begot Lamech. Okay, and Lamech had two wives. Lamech had two wives, and one of his wives was named Adach, and then his other wife was named Zilach. Okay, so as you can see, the first instance of a man taking two wives in the Bible actually occurred in Genesis, which is the beginning of time, which in theory would be the I guess the freshest, purest time period in all of theology and biblical history. All right. So like I said, we can go to particular verses and then we can go to other verses that contradict that. This is not a Bible study though, but we'll keep going though. And he quotes Deuteronomy 17:7. Let's see. I'll read this last verse just to appease the brother Lick a Pickle. Don't mind having these conversations, but you know, I just want to give some perspective. And I'm not trying to convince you guys or you know, change your minds on anything. I'm just doing my thug dizzle. Deuteronomy 17:17. Sorry. All right, so he says he must not take many wives, or his heart will be led astray. He must not accumulate large amounts of silver and gold. Okay, so my question is, he must not take many wives. How many is many? And how many is too many? Is two too many? Or is many more than one? And then the second verse, he must not accumulate large amounts of silver and gold. Do you agree with that? That you must not accumulate large amounts of silver and gold? I'm asking you, my brother Lick a Pickle. Do you agree that you personally must not accumulate large amounts of silver and gold?
Partying and getting drunk and doing all this fun stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
and I'm like doing drugs, and I'm like I feel like I should be like doing more.
What kind of drugs? Smoking weed, snorting a little coke?
I did some Molly.
Nice.
Yeah, I started smoking weed in university. So.
Oh, I did some Molly, dude. She totally does coke. Fuck out of here. Lick a Pickle says yes. The Bible says, "How hard is it for a rich man to get to heaven?" Yeah, no, I definitely am familiar with the verse. He also says, "Easier to find a needle in a haystack than for a rich man to get into the gates of heaven." But then also you have guys like King David, okay, King Solomon, and obviously there were stories that we learned from them. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Abraham took multiple wives. So a lot of the righteous men in the Bible actually did have multiple wives, and a lot of the so-called righteous men in the Bible actually did accumulate a lot of wealth for themselves. So, like I said, there are obvious contradictions. And I think that we kind of pick and choose. But at the end of the day, I like the Bible for the historical reference for sure. And I know people say, oh, it's not a history book, but I definitely think so for sure. Lick a Pickle says, yes, to populate the earth with different women hundreds of years ago. It's not for the men today. And like I said, okay, so you're basing that determination off of the New Testament, I'm understanding. You're basing your assertion that what does he say? Okay, taking multiple women. you're basing your assertion off of the New Testament, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, the issue I do have issues with the New Testament, especially when it comes to the authors of the books of the New Testament. We can debate about that as well. But anyways, let's keep going.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, that's one of the.
What university did you go to?
It's called Dalhousie in Halifax in Canada.
Yeah.
Was it wild? Was it a party school?
Yeah, the city itself had the most bars per capita. So like,
Wow.
on the streets, everyone's like drunk, drinking, like beer, shotgun, whatever it's called.
And
like,
you're loving it.
Yeah.
You're like, this is way better than just staying in the mosque.
There was
not
a
being
lot
able
of
to do
black
shit.
guys. That's what I liked.
Really?
Okay, so Lick a Pickle says you're supposed to take it all. It's all the word of God if you're a true believer, bro. Okay, so I'm not saying that you don't take it all and you don't read it all and take it into account, but you just said that we have to omit the Old Testament. So which one do we take, the New or the Old Testament? Lick a Pickle says God told man what to write, whether or not it says anonymous. No. See, that's the issue. That's the issue there. It absolutely matters if the author. So he says we take the new. So you throw out the old and take the new. Is that what you're telling me? So the Old Testament doesn't matter. It's outdated. It should be omitted from the way that you live your life on a daily basis. Is that what you're telling me? Also, he says you're supposed to take it all. It's all the word of God if you're a true believer. Absolutely not. Look, you can't take you can't say that a book that is written by an anonymous author is the word of God because you don't know if the author was a righteous man. You don't know if the author was a prophet. He says the New Testament was written for a reason. Yeah, it was written for a reason, but it was also written by, let's keep it a buck. It was not written by the people that God chose to purvey his message. Can we agree on that? Anyways, we're kind of getting stuck in the weeds here. He said, you keep saying God told man what to write, but look, you can't just say, oh, it's an anonymous author on this book, and then we know who wrote this one, but it's an anonymous author on this book. How do we know if these quote unquote authors were righteous men? Just like the translation of the King James Version. King James was not a righteous man, but he's over here translating Bibles. I have an issue with that.
lot of basketball teams.
When did you realize that was your flavor?
So I loved basketball because I always played it when I was growing up.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
Bruh, I literally saw her Instagram and she like shoots a shot. Her form is horrible. Oh my God. She's saying that she played basketball growing up. Oh my God. She's literally, bro. She said, I always loved basketball because I played it growing up. That's fucking cap. Dude, come on. I'm a real basketball player. And I know girls basketball because I have 3 sisters and all my sisters played girls basketball. As a matter of fact, one of my sisters played college basketball, college women's basketball, and then the 2 of my other sisters played basketball since they were 10 years old. Look at her shot. Look at her form. For one, she pushed the ball with both hands. An obvious sign that she doesn't play basketball. For 2, like, why are you jumping so high to shoot a jump shot? Uncontested. She shot it from the 3-point line and ended up 2 feet in front of the free throw line. Jesus Christ. He said, okay, so there's some points that Lick a Pickle made. He said we take what he says about the second coming, but multiple women isn't for us. He also says God told that man that what to write. God is anonymous to all of us the same way that we know God is there. No, so this is my issue. You can't just believe a book with an anonymous author if you can't confirm that that author was a man of God. Do you understand that concept, bro? He also says, you ball, bro. You got one of those bodybuilder shots. Nah, I gotta fucking, my shit water. My shit water. I mean, I will admit I do play rough, but when it comes to my shot, my shit water.
Sorry, hockey niggas.
Because I'm a point guard.
I started going to games in my second year of university with my friend Bridget, and I was like, man, there's not that many cute white guys. She's like, well, like, what about that guy over there? I'm like, oh, I never really thought about like black guys, but yeah, he is cute. And then the next day I see all these guys coming up to me at the gym, like they're all on the basketball team. They're like, hey, can we have your number? I'm like, did they like see me sitting there like looking at them yesterday? Like, I don't get it. All of a sudden they all want to be friends.
It's that black guy intuition. It's like women's intuition.
So then I started like hanging out with them more, smoking weed with them more. Then like my residence became like where it was their safe place of coming to smoke weed where their coaches wouldn't find out and other people wouldn't find out. So like they would all pull up, like they'd all be like smoking in my spot, like nobody would know.
Wow. And you were just having a good old time?
Yeah, and I was still a virgin. And then I lost it to a white soccer boy.
Oh,
That was 3 seconds.
You came so
Wow, that's crazy. So she you know, she hanging around all these niggas, but then she still ends up getting her virginity taken by a white soccer guy. Distant Lights makes a good point. He says Book of Proverbs has great advice and is anonymous. Judgment is required. Yeah, I definitely agree. Judgment is required. But at the same time, you know, it's like I said, it's a fascinating book. But especially when it comes to the dates of publishing, should be taken into account. Lick a Pickle says we got to see a hood video, bro. Yeah, I used to have some on my old Facebook, hoop video, okay, on my old Facebook. He says she got trains on top of trains. Cooley says this is what I'm talking about, bro. Not all, but the non-black girls that fuck with niggas be hoes. Yeah, I agree. To a certain extent, for sure.
Close.
And it was awful. I was like, wait, hold on.
I was hoping you said you lost it at the barbecue.
Yeah.
No,
we all were.
but then the next guy, the second guy I had sex with was a black guy.
Really?
Yeah. And
So
then every
killing
guy
the
after
soccer
that.
guy.
Compare white soccer guy to black other guy.
The white soccer guy lasted 3 seconds.
Oh.
Pussy.
Yeah.
Common white guy tactic. That's how we
So-
let you know that we really like you.
Yeah,
Come
apparently.
really fast. I love to have a
So that's pretty interesting there. So that's her background. Wow, we finally got through that. Wow, we had so many fucking distractions. The African guy tried to say that hip hop doesn't influence crime. It's total bullshit. Anyways, let's fast forward to the main event. Actually, you know what? I did want to break down some of their off the air podcast shit, the off the air TV. It looks like they have 2 videos. Let's fast forward. Oh wow. So I'm looking at her friend now. She definitely needs to lose some weight. I mean, she is thick. Like I said, looks like a good fuck for sure. But that stomach is wide as shit. Let's keep going.
Want to become an elite level athlete? Well, look no further. The Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course is all you need to take your performance from subpar to the creme de la creme of athletes all around the world. The purpose of this course is to give you a comprehensive weight training, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance program that is meant to prepare young athletes for collegiate and professional sports. This course is packed with over 2 hours of creative, action-packed lifts narrated and coached by yours truly to assure increased strength, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance. Hey, I get it. Training alone can be tough and can even make you feel misguided or somewhat unmotivated. But with this course, I walk you step by step through each and every lift to make sure you're using the proper form to prevent injuries and that you're hitting the correct muscle groups to render maximum results. So what are you waiting for? It's now or never. So go ahead and get the training course today so you too can reclaim your throne.